Barry, welcome to the club, or should have said welcome back. Firstly, how does it feel to be Newry City AFC first team manager?
Yeah, Gareth, it's brilliant to get things done and just get settled in. We've got a huge task ahead of us, and we're just keen to meet the players and get onto the training pitch and see, can we start to work on some of the things we need to put right for the matches ahead.
You've obviously you've seen the team play this season, and as you've referenced in your press release and the announcement that your results haven't been what was expected. With that, what would appeal to you about the role?
Yeah, I think, listen, there's a lot of players here that I've managed before, lots of other players that I'm very familiar with, and it's Premiership football, top tier in the country. I don't think any manager worth their salt would want to turn that opportunity down. So for me, it's very familiar. It's a club I know well. Been here before, obviously, as you say. Players that know me and I know them. That may not be brilliant for them, but it's certainly good for me. I'm just keen to get working.
With that, what's your first port of call, both on and off the pitch?
I think the key thing for us on the pitch at the minute is get working with the group and see, can we raise some of the confidence levels. Obviously, it's not easy when you're on a run of form like the boys have been. We want to just get in and maybe point them in a slightly different direction than what they've been heading in the last number of weeks. It's easy said, it's not easy with the amount of defeats and performance levels the way they've been, and that's priority. That's priority number one, on and off the pitch, if you want to call it. Doesn't matter. There is nothing more important than that at the minute. Obviously, the club's very established. It's got a good following. It's got a good backing off the pitch. I'm not here to worry too much about that. The club do very well on their own in that. So for me, priority remains with just working with the existing players and seeing, can we get better and more from them, and see, can we possibly add our experience in the fold, which will help them progress.
I mean, is that something we're obviously in the January transfer window already? I suppose it's something that the fans will always want to know, regardless of how a team's doing. Has the manager got irons in the fire, both in terms of players coming in and potentially players going out of the club this month?
Yeah, we've done a lot of work in the background over the last 12 hours. We don't. Obviously, we need to get in and assess what we have first and foremost. We need to speak to the players in full detail and see where they are, to see what appetite they have in relation to what I want to do as manager. Whether that matches, then we'll assess exactly where we are on the existing pool. But I think what we want to do is we want to get more from what we have first and foremost. I would like to see some January additions, and we'd hope to see them very early in January if it's possible to do the business. We're in a situation where we're bottom of the table, so it may not be the most appealing, attractive proposition for players that's out there at the minute, but hopefully with some of the contacts that we have and some of the players that we know in and around the league, there may be opportunities to bring in, but it won't be wholesale changes. But I think it's healthy to have fresh faces coming in January.
You touched on the league form there, but your first game was going to be an Irish Cup game here at the Showgrounds against Ballymallard on Saturday. I mean, does that make it easier, but in terms of the league as your bread and butter, you still want a performance, and you're obviously still hoping for a win on Saturday, but does that make it easier to bed in and see the players actually in action in a competitive game?
Yeah, I don't think easier is the right description. I think the reality of it is there's certain games, Irish Cup on Saturday, our bread and butter is getting ourselves off the bottom of the table, putting Premiership survival in our own hands for next season. It's good that it's a cup game to start, albeit the club and the fans will want to win and progress in the next round, but it's an opportunity for me. It's a free hit for me as manager to see, can we discuss and work on some things this week in a very quick turnaround, and then get out on Saturday to see, can we lift their confidence and lift their performance levels, whether that be 10% or 100%, who knows, but that's our target, and we know we can't drop points this weekend regardless. So as much as we'd love to be in the next round of the Irish Cup, and that is the target, priority remains in preparing ourselves for the big head-to-head league games that we have coming up.
And just lastly, Barry, we're hosting a Q&A with yourself and the fans on Friday night, which we'll release the full details of tomorrow. But before then, have you a message for support who follow the club home and away, are extremely passionate about the club, and certainly voice their opinion when things aren't going well as they are at the minute? But what's your first message to them?
Yeah, listen, the message is this: they've done very well in backing their team all season long in very difficult circumstances, and we know both as fans and as managers and personnel that be around club, how difficult it is to do that. There's never been a more important time to get behind particularly the players. I'm not asking the fans to get behind me. My job is to deliver on the pitch with the players that we have to secure Premiership survival, and they play a massive part in that. They've been fantastic as far as I can see. All season long we've asked them to be vocal, to be, positively vocal if possible, but be prepared that things won't change overnight. So we've got to be patient, and we've got to make sure that we have as many people behind the boys on the pitch as we possibly can. The players will have me 100% behind them, and if they can get that from the stands, then we have a fighting chance.
You looking forward to getting started?
Yeah, managers, coaches just want to get hands-on. You can do all the formalities and all the box ticking that you want, but really and truly it's just about getting out on the training pitch and looking forward to a game on Saturday.